Is it really possible for your average Magic the Gathering player to reach Mythic without spending a single penny? Today, we're going to put that to the test, starting with a fresh account and grinding the ranked ladder to see how many games it takes to reach the coveted Mythic rank.
Hello everybody, my name is AJ and welcome to day 17 of the Free-to-Play to Mythic Challenge. Today is a very important day in the history of this series, as today is going to be the first day we are starting in the Diamond rank. We no longer have any more ranks to climb, we only have 3 more tiers to go before we're able to reach Mythic. Without further ado, let's show the deck list and hop right into the games. Here is the deck list for today. I'm still super high on the Shelter by Ghosts. Absolutely love having the two of them in the deck. I very rarely feel screwed out of colors with us running 11 fetch lands out of our 26 total lands we're running. I think that the Terrasymbiosis and the Scavenging Ooze is one of are both super positive. I feel 85% confident this will be the final deck list for the challenge, but we'll wait and see if we end up getting the resources to make any adjustments. Without further ado, let's hop right into the ranked ladder. Here we are in game number 1 with a hand I did not mean to snap keep, although I think I probably would have chosen to keep this anyway. Still, it feels like a very good hand to have. We can get Bristly Bill in pretty quick. Looks like we're playing against the Azorius artifacts. Yeah, unfortunate misclick to say the least. I suppose I will just land drop to get Bill in. If they have another Saw Blade, so be it. If not, hopefully Bill can start to become a problem. I think the Clay Flyer Bricks is probably good for us, for them to play on their turn 2. Excuse me. And we will, I suppose now we just have Defend the Rider up. Terramorphic Expanse, try and get this Bill as big as we can, and then we can Shelter by Ghosts away whatever we need to, and in the process hopefully build up a decent life total. I will actually choose to sack this now. I think the 1 damage could matter. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, but I think it's better to have it for sure. It's not like we're holding that up for a different color, for a different interaction. Okay. If we can Shelter by Ghosts away the Synthesizer, that would be great. Would love to just avoid that at all costs. Another reason I really like the Shelter by Ghosts is, it gives us a little bit of interaction. It's something that we don't always have the most access to in the mono green, and I think that it gives us just enough interaction that feels good for the deck, but doesn't take away from our game plan. And yeah, I think the right choice is just to Shelter by Ghosts, get a couple more triggers on Bill, and next turn with Worldsoul's Rage, potentially get something good going on. Pinnacle Starcage would definitely be unfortunate for us here. We can Bristly Bill if they, well, yeah, that's unfortunate. But, it is what it is. So another Synthesizer Scry 2, but at the very least it does stop them from, or Shelter by Ghost does stop them from getting the creature off of the Starcage. Let's see what we can top deck. It's not my first choice of what to see, but it's definitely not a problem. I think the right choice is just play our lands, try and get as many land drops in as we can. We can sack that and Worldsoul's Rage for 3. Next turn, that is frustrating, to say the least. I think the Starcage is really the only piece of removal they can have that interacts with us at all. Having 2 of that is definitely frustrating. Suppose we will sack the Escape Tunnel then. Let's filter out the deck a little bit. Draw Forest regardless, which is okay. But I will Fabled Passage, and I am going to Worldsoul's Rage the Construct, I think is the right choice. For 4, we get all of our taps lands back, and so buy ourselves a turn. If we can find really anything would be great, but something like a Mossborn Hydra would be awesome. Definitely be beneficial for us. Mossborn Hydra might be the best. Traveling Chocobo into some of the smaller Chocobos is extremely unlikely, but would be great to give us some blockers. Defend the Rider is just not what we want to see. We'll pass and hope we can find a threat to play. So yeah, this is the very frustrating game one, for sure. I mean, the double Pinnacle Star Cage is super rough, but we will see if there's anything to make out of it. They can only get two constructs in at the moment, but now they can search for. Well, I guess they can't search for the Star Cage just yet. They can search for the Fire Crystal and probably win next turn if we don't find some kind of threat to answer this. And that is not it. Very unfortunate loss for game one. Frustrating game. I don't think we made any mistakes in our gameplay. I think I'm happy with the decisions we made. It's unfortunate they have what they have, but nothing to do but continue the climb. Haven't lost too much ground yet, so we'll get into game two and hopefully have a little bit of a better matchup. Here we are in game number 2 with a keepable hand, I think. I think I'm okay with this. It's not my first choice of hand, but we are able to get things in on turn 2. Our curve is a little bit iffy if we don't find another untapped land. But I suppose let's see. Opponent goes to 5. That's definitely a good sign for us. Suppose we'll grab red mana, just for the Worldsoul's Rage. We know we have that in hand. I imagine whatever I play here is probably just going to get kill spelled. And I think to an extent I'm okay with burning this kill spell on Tifa. Bill and the Hydra both are able to get around interaction as long as I have a land drop available to me. So I think waiting a turn on those is definitely the right choice. It's definitely an interesting card. Maybe some kind of... To be honest, I don't even know what exactly, but... Double Fabled Passage here. Spider deck, that's the words I'm thinking of. Choose from damage, have Fabled Passage's interaction if we need it. Get Tifa out of lightning strike range. Bill, unfortunately, we cannot. Okay. See what they choose to grab. I think that's the wrong choice. I mean, unless they have the kill spell for Bill. But they do. Okay. Definitely unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, maybe some kind of white-based enchantment deck. Definitely could be something interesting. I suppose I'll just grab my mana. I'll grab the white, play the Hydra. Hopefully they're out of interaction. But really not much to say. Other than I hope. Fabled Passage should get it out of a pretty good chunk of interaction with them at 5. I find it hard to believe that they have that exactly what they need. That's very frustrating. Yeah, I mean, no words for it other than frustrating. Our opponent has gone to 5 and has 3 pieces of removal. Doesn't feel great. I'll say that for sure. But we do have what looks to be a bit of a timer. Have 3 turns right now. Still 3 turns. Bar whatever else they have, so if we can find something else useful, we're in a decent spot. We can kill the Aerialist, and we're probably never going to ramp enough to kill that, but we can certainly try our very best. So, because now we can Worldsoul's Rage for 2 on the Aerialist, and we can pay the ward cost as well. Give our Fabled Passages back. And then we would need 2 more lands to be able to do anything to this Aerialist. Because we'll need to pay... Worldsoul's Rage is 4 to kill. It's going to be 10 mana we need to actually answer the big Aerialist. Which is not what we find whatsoever. That is another just extremely frustrating game, to say nothing else. Yeah, I mean that's a very frustrating first 2 games. Then going to 5 was great, but you know, frustrating to play against all the removal. But as I try to always preach, avoid the tilt, take a step away, come back for game 3, and hopefully we'll get a little bit luckier, have a little bit of better games, and hopefully have a better mindset for the rest of the climb. Starting game number 3 on the play as well. Again, an interesting hand, but one that I think I'm happy to keep. Not the most resilient to removal, but we do have double Tifa Lockhart, a Scavenging Ooze for any graveyard-based strategies, which this definitely appears it could be one. So we'll grab our white mana, most likely drop Tifa on 2. Absolutely, I mean with a 3rd Tifa, I have no concerns about them taking a turn to kill Tifa Lockhart. I think the later this game goes, the better I feel. Defend the Rider is great to see. Well, I suppose... honestly, what I might do is... oh, well, he can't block, so we might as well just have Tifa push in for a little bit of damage, and we can play the Ooze once we have either A, Defend the Rider, or Interaction for him. Excuse me. So that it can accomplish something other than a 2/2 body that gets sniped by any number of kill spells. Okay, they have Sephiroth. Online, got some card draw. Okay. Taking the 2 I think is fine. I think I would like to... I mean, I'd like to try and have Tifa swing. Worldsoul's Rage is obviously gonna be really nice. I mean, we could kill something with it now and have Tifa grow pretty big. Have her grow to 16. Definitely wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, I definitely don't hate the idea of that. Worldsoul's Rage for 2. Grab those back. Again, she goes to 16. We push for a lot of damage. Force them to answer the Tifa. But I think the safer choice is just to swing. If he wants to trade Sephiroth and Tifa, I'm okay with that, because I will gladly just defend the Rider as an effective kill spell against Sephiroth. Now I will... I suppose I'll just Scavenging Ooze. It's not online yet, but I don't see them having a board wipe, and I see them wanting to kill Tifa over the Ooze, so I think now is a decent chance to play it. I think it's a better alternative to Worldsoul's Rage. I'm not super scared of Voice of Victory. We're not really casting any spells on our opponent's turn. Our only interaction is sorcery speed. So I suppose the best choice, however, is probably to kill it. I could Worldsoul's Rage for 3, grow Tifa to 8, and then we could grow her again next turn, and hopefully win, or grow her to 16 actually. So that would kill 2 things, and so I again feel okay about that. Although I kind of would like to just keep Scavenging Ooze mana open. So what if I Worldsoul's Rage for 1 to kill that, have Tifa push in for 4, and then we keep Scavenging Ooze mana available? That's maybe an okay answer, but I think I'd rather keep Worldsoul's Rage available for something else. I think I'm okay to pass on this. Like to keep Scavenging Ooze up for Raise the Past or some big game-turning bomb that they might have available to them. Voice Victory will give them a good bit of life back. But we should be able to exile with the Ooze and grow it to be a blocker for the victory. Definitely would be decent if possible. At the very least, Worldsoul's Raging for the Vengeful Blood Witch is not a line I hate. I will rip all the creatures out of their graveyard that I can. No creatures in my graveyard to steal just yet. So, with the Fabled Passage, if they have no interaction, that is probably enough to push for a victory. And it doesn't look like they have anything to interact with. So I'm going to Worldsoul's Rage for 4. We'll kill Voice of Victory just in case we're wrong. But this should be enough land drops for Tifa to push through for the victory. Get a nice surrender from our opponent, and we are fortunate enough to get a win to put us back on track for game number 3. And we'll enter in game number 4 and hopefully have a very similar game. Here we are in game number 4 with another interesting hand on the play. The one untapped land is interesting. I'd like to play it because I'd like to play the Chocobo. And taking a turn off for... Assuming that this is not the end of the world. But I don't hate escape tunneling and trying to slam a Tifa or Bill, depending on the matchup. I think the Chocobo is good into aggro. It's good into control, because they don't want to spend a kill spell on it in control. And aggro escape tunnel makes it a good blocker, or they have to take their turn 1 drop away to kill it. So I feel okay with taking turn 2 off into Demir mid-range. I think it is the same situation of they should not want to... I suppose there's no real interaction I'm going to be holding up. Just take the damage. They are not going to want to use a kill spell, take a whole turn to answer my, 1-drop Chocobo. But if they don't, it will rack up a significant amount of damage over the course of the game, I hope. They have no black mana available to them just yet. Definitely worried about a Phantom Interference. Although to be completely frank, how worried am I about it really? I suppose we'll land drop. I am worried about a Phantom Interference. Flood Pitch Drowner is also an interaction that they can have, but one that I'm less worried about. I think here I'm somewhat happy to slam Tifa. Shelter by Ghosts and Bill, she can be a decent finisher. I still don't have black mana available just yet. We can Shelter by Ghost Tifa, make them spend an entirety of a turn 4 to kill it, which I think is even better. Obviously if we find a land, that'd be great too. Like a Fabled Passage would be ideal. But let's just see. I wonder if they're going to use the Drowner to send the Chocobo away. I think I'm happy to take the 3. Yeah, I don't think I have really any qualms about taking the 3. But we will sack the Fabled Passage before we get to our turns. We have white for the Shelter by Ghost no matter what. Question is, if they're going to Flood Pits, they need to do it now. They don't want to Flood Pits. Okay, I'm going to attempt Bristly Bill. If Bill gets countered, we will slam Shelter by Ghosts. Okay. I am okay with that. The Shelter by Ghosts, I think maybe can wait a turn then. Obviously I would like to Worldsoul's Rage or something like that. But perhaps we wait the Shelter by Ghost to take something a little more important. So I guess we'll pass the turn to our opponent and see what happens. I think we can, yeah. It's a tough spot to be in. I think I'm definitely okay with using that kill spell. Again, not the end of the world. And I actually would like to save this wilds for the Hydra. I don't think they have a kill spell. I truly don't. I think they would have used it if they did. Well, they do. That's unfortunate, but we can Hydra and put Shelter by Ghosts on top of it. There's definitely a scary thought, at the very least. We can pay for Phantom Interference here.
Oh, we can't Shelter by Ghost because we spent our mana like an idiot. It's slightly frustrating. That actually very possibly loses us the game. Because now we can't Shelter by Ghost away that Tish. That's a very fresh. I don't like that Arena auto-tap the mana like that. It's something to learn, you know. And they steal the Shelter by Ghost. That's frustrating. These games have not been the most enjoyable games of Magic I've ever played. Definitely a frustrating... Yeah, I mean, frustrating is the only word I can think of for it. Don't like that Arena tapped our mana that way, but just keep in mind, you know, at least look at how Arena's tapping it before we make any decisions. Let's just see what happens. See if we can make a recovery. That's not going to be it, but we will keep our land drops available, and you know, maybe we can find something. We'll just have to wait and see. I can't attack with the Tish now because we can block with Tifa. Lets our Hydra start to grow again. See if they throw a Kaito in here. I will definitely trade Tifa for Tish. That makes sense. We're going to Evolving Wilds while they don't have Tish mana.
This is where things pop. I love a dramatic entrance.
Okay. Our Hydra's alive. Yeah, so they have to tap it down. That makes sense.
Take a break, will ya?
So we need to find something now, or we die to the Flyers. That is not it. It's an unbelievably frustrating end to this game. I mean, absolutely lost that because of how Arena tapped the mana, and that is not a fun way to lose for sure, but it's a great opportunity. Practice on the mental game, improve, keep the head strong, and continue to try and make good plays. And all we can do is try to recover for the rest of the games in the day. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 5. Have to go to 6, unfortunately. It's not a hand worth keeping with no untapped lands. But this is a decent hand to keep. We have Tifa, we have Shelter by Ghost. I'm going to play the Mountain here. Make our opponent think they're playing a deck that they're not, and maybe they make a different choice. I mean, I think our opponent's going to Llanowar Elves regardless. We will Tifa here. Perhaps Fabled Passage turn 1 was the better choice so that we could get the Hydra in on curve, but I would rather not let the Hydra just be kill spelled. So I suppose I'll just escape tunnel here and see. Okay, more ramp from the Overlord. Let's sack this for our white mana. Maybe we find a 1-drop. We can Shelter by Ghosts, maybe not. We can throw Shelter by Ghosts on Bristly Bill. I think it's probably the right choice. We are going to steal the Llanowar Elves because taking the Hauntwoods just lets them get it like as a full creature earlier if they kill spell it, so that gives them value. This way they have to spend a whole turn on a kill spell to get their Llanowar Elves back, which I don't think is great for them. Maybe there's merit to holding up the Shelter by Ghost so we can slam 2 of it on something, but... Or if they choose to do that, we just Shelter by Ghosts away. Actually, what do we Shelter by Ghosts away? We could Shelter by Ghosts on Bristly Bill. Make him cost 6 mana to get rid of.
Get rid of that demon, hit him for, 7 damage, get ourselves some life back. Or we could throw it on the Hydra, spread our wings a little bit, let the Hydra start to get a little bit bigger, and we could just take the Unholy Annex. But I think I like the idea. Let's tap our mana like we're seeing Arena want to do, make some really stupid decisions. Yeah, definitely do not want to mess around with that at all. I think we'll spread the level a little bit. They still have to spend basically a full turn on a kill spell. This way they don't answer everything we have. Or they can do that, that's fine too. Deadly Cover Up is a card I definitely should have been more aware of than I was. Mossborn Hydra is great, but I think it's risky to slam him down now. There's not much point. I don't see a way, unless we Traveling Chocobo, Fetch Land, or our next 2 cards. Playing him now doesn't mean anything, and I think him having a kill spell is much more likely than that. So we'll wait the Hydra. They get their own Hydra in. They have Overlord now. We have protection for the Hydra now. It's not ideal, but okay. We do get to protect our Hydra, at least for this turn. But they're generating a lot of card advantage now. There are not a whole bunch of... There truly are not a whole bunch of cards off the top that really help us here. That is not one of them because we only have 2 lands, unfortunately. I mean, we can do Worldsoul's Rage for 3. If we had a 3rd land, that'd be a lot better. Get the Mossborn Hydra to 8, at least have it be a good blocker. So we can still Worldsoul's Rage for 3. Kill the Goldvein Hydra. Though I don't actually know how helpful that is. Well, I suppose I will just hit them in the face. Grab our lands, and we do get to grow the Hydra to 16 next turn. No matter what we draw, land gets it to 32. Not land as well. I mean, we'll see. If they have removal, we lose. If they don't, it still requires some luck to pull off a win, so... I mean, that's unfortunate. We will give ourselves a top deck, but I can't think of a single card on the deck that gives us a chance to win here at all. I mean, I don't think we have turn for Terrasymbiosis to do much. That's absolutely not it. Another very frustrating game, but fortunately, without playing against too long form control, we have time to get in some more games. We can hopefully get a couple games in, win 1 or 2 of those, and get ourselves back on track for tomorrow to make up some of that lost progress. Potentially could be the last game of the day. With a very interesting hand on the draw, and I'm not typically inclined to keep a 5-lander, but Bill into Traveling Chocobo is the exact kind of 5-lander I want to keep. Opponent goes down to 6, and so having the extra lands always feels pretty nice. Here's the time where playing the Mountain first is probably more impactful than it was last game. If I'm having 2 mana, they maybe make a different decision, but no way to truly know. Suppose. Honestly, probably could wait to have Defend the Rider for Bristly Bill, which I would like to do. It's not like we are low on the lands needed to do it. Okay. Now let's slam down Bristly Bill. And hopefully with Defend the Rider we'll keep him alive. Traveling Chocobo and a fetch land will feel pretty good too. Potentially push for some good damage. Well, I suppose that does not allow us to have Defend the Rider. Okay, get their 4/4. I do not know what removal they might have. Suppose we'll drop the Traveling Chocobo. And yeah, I think the right choice is going to be to I think the right choice is to hold Defend the Rider mana. We can Chocobo next turn. Can also fetch land prep for a Bristly build double. It's probably the right choice. Opponent surveils some stuff away. We knew we were finding the Defend the Rider. Yeah, Sazh Chocobo is great. Fetch land is great to see. I think that Worldsoul's Rage is a fine card, but I don't think I love it right now, and so I think I'm willing to Terramorphic Expanse to find something else. Grab our white mana in case we find a Shelter by Ghost off the top. Spread the love on these counters somewhat evenly. And then with an escape tunnel and a doubler, we should be good. It's interesting. I am curious as to why they would let their cards go like that. But they potentially have some big graveyard spell that I need to know about. Oh wow, that is... I mean, that is truly an unbelievable... That is unbelievable, really. That absolutely wins our opponent the game and is an extremely unfortunate way to end today's climb. Puts us all the way back to the beginning of Diamond 4. However, that's not the end of the world. We got pretty lucky yesterday to get up as far as we did, so as long as we get back on it tomorrow, we shouldn't be too far behind pace. Well, today was probably the most disappointing day of the climb. I think that potentially was the strongest test of my mental game, and I definitely did not perform. I don't think I made any major misplays because of tilt, but I definitely was on it for a good chunk of today's climb. I suppose there is not much to do, but keep our heads up, forgive and forget, and move on to the next day with our heads held high, and hopefully continue this climb as fast as we can.